It's here! It's finally here! The summer has finally arrived in the UK. In the next few weeks, we're going to have a bit of a heat wave. Huzzah! And there was much rejoicing. Well, there is for me. I know not everybody loves the hot weather, but... Oh, my panda fell. I'll be telling you about this guy a little bit later on. Let's put him there again. If he falls again... Oh, no, he might fall down. Where shall I put my panda bear? He'll sit there for now. I'll be telling you about him a bit later on, so keep with this video because it's all about our competition. But firstly, I want to talk to you about the summer and about how to keep cool in the summer, because I have gone to a number of hot countries in my time. I've gone to the Gambia, I've gone to America and the Caribbean, and I've picked up a few little tips and tricks in order to keep cool in the summer. And as you well know, here in the UK, we haven't really got the infrastructure for hot weather because we're not used to it. We only get like maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks if we're lucky in the summer of something of a hot heat wave. So we don't really have the air conditioning that you see in many places, say in America. So I'm going to give you some hints and tips to keep cool and keep safe in the hot weather for you and your family. Hello, and my name is Tamsin and I run the website theonlychildclub.net, and I am dedicated to supporting you and your beautiful one-child family, helping you all to grow, flourish and live life to the full. Now let's talk about the first item to keep cool. Yes, it's of course drink. And when I say drink, I mean drink water. I'll talk about the other drink a bit later on. But it's so easy to forget to drink enough water, or you think you may have drunk enough water, but then at the end of the day, you're like, oh, actually, I'm feeling a little bit woozy. Oh, I'm hardly weeing. Oh, the wee is very dark and yellow. That's an indication that you're a bit dehydrated. And when you're dehydrated, your body and your brain does not function very well. So make sure you drink enough water. And a good way to make sure you have drunk enough water is to get one of those special bottles where it's got little markers throughout the day on the time, so you can just make sure that you're drinking enough and that you finish a bottle by the end of the day. Now you can do the same for your child, and I'd recommend it because children are notorious for not drinking enough water. It's like, drink water, no, they run away and you're like chasing them, just drink some water. So if you give them a bottle with some markers on it, and you can draw the markers on just to make sure, and you can say, hey, just drink enough down to this marker, drink enough down to that marker. Maybe make a competition of it and they're more likely to drink the water. Another way to get your child to drink water is to make them drink some, or eat or suck on some ice pops. And now I know the ice pops are kind of full of really bad, you know, flavourings and colourings and things like that, but you can make some nice natural ones actually, so have a look into that. You can actually make some with like orange juice or some sort of fruit juice. They're still packed full of sugar, I admit, but they're also packed full of juicy goodness. So that's another way that you can make sure your child has enough water during the hot weather, because they're kind of like ice lollies, don't they? Another way to keep cool in the hot weather is to use one of these little babies. It's called a cooling towel, okay? I bought these and we used them when we were in Florida, and they've been brilliant. They come with like a little pouch and even like with a little keyring thing that you can attach to your bag, so you can whip it out anytime. You basically get them wet in the morning and they stay cool. It's because of the way they've been woven. They do stay cool for most of the day, and you can always keep rinsing them in cold water, and they dry up quickly, and then you can just wear them around your neck. Because did you know your neck is probably one of the warmest parts of your body actually, that gets very, very warm. So in the winter, if you're cold, if your hands are cold, your fingers cold, just hold them on your neck. But obviously during the hot months, you want to keep your neck cool, and this is a good way of doing it. So I'm going to put a link to these cooling towels in the description below, so you can just go onto there and get some of these. Just be aware that any links that I put in the description are going to be most likely going to be affiliate links. So Sops and I may make a commission if you make a purchase, but we're going to always recommend something that's going to be of use to you. Okay, so the other thing you can do, right, if you don't have a cooling towel, but something you might have, is a hot water bottle. All right, and for those of you who don't use hot water bottles in other parts of the world, they're very much a staple here in the UK. They're like just these rubber bottles that you can pour very, very hot water in, and they keep you warm in the winter. You can just reverse it, put cold water on, put ice cubes in there if you can, and it will keep you nice and cool. A really good idea at night time, that you can just put it on your back, perhaps to keep your body cool at night. That's definitely something I'm going to do when I go camping in just over a week's time. Yeah, Sops and I are going camping, just to let you know, and we're going to do a video about camping with an only child, and we're going to give you some hints and tips about camping as well. And if this really good weather lasts, then I think I might actually do that, because tents can get very hot, and the place we're going to, there's not going to be any electricity in the tent, so I'm not going to be able to bring a fan or anything like that. So I might just bring a cold water bottle instead. The other thing is, of course, to keep your curtains closed during the day. Just make sure your window's open, keep your curtains closed, just keep it as shaded as you can in the house. I mean, you might want to look into getting an air conditioner machine. I'll put one in the description below, but whichever one I put on, it's going to be because other people have recommended it, but not necessarily that I have used it. So that's a little disclaimer, because we just kind of have the windows open, the curtains closed. I do have a fan. I know the fan kind of moves warm air around, but that's kind of all I've got. I don't have an air conditioning machine, but that's something you might want to use in your own home if it gets very hot. And this is a new build, so it does get very hot in this building. Okay, I know I talked about water earlier, but I'm going to talk about the other drink now, alcohol. It's nice to sit outside and enjoy a beer or a cider, a glass of wine, a glass of Pimm's even. But you've got to be aware that alcohol also causes dehydration, as does caffeinated drinks. Cold or warm caffeinated drinks, the caffeine can cause a bit of dehydration. So if that's the case, what you want to be doing, if you do have a drink or two, it's best to avoid it. But if you do, then you want to up your water intake even more. You have one small glass of wine, you need probably at least 3 glasses of white wine. You need at least 3 glasses of water. Okay, just make sure you always increase the water, because what you'll find is by the morning you're going to feel a wee bit dehydrated. Now, one of the feelings that you can have when it's really hot is kind of dehydration, but it's not actually the cause of that. It's the lack of salt. So you sweat all your salts and things out when you're sweating. So you need to make sure your electrolytes are quite high as well. I always recommend mineral water, that's all you need, but you can get electrolytes in little packets, little flavoured packets, put it in the water to make you feel better. Make sure your salt levels are high, not too high, but high enough, because that's, if you don't have electrolytes, then what you get is really bad cramps in your legs. And I find this every time I go to hot countries, and I've sweated more than I realised because I'm a sweaty Betty, and in the morning I wake up and there's horrendous cramps. So make sure you always have plenty of mineral water or electrolytes. That's going to help you, okay? Especially if you go out on the Raz and have a drink or two. Now, I wrote this blog post a couple of years ago in 2022 when we were going through another little heat wave in the summer, and I'm going to put that blog post in the description below, and there's a little part in it which is a bit of a no-brainer, but I feel I should share it anyway because I care for you, I care for your child, I care for your well-being. But please don't think I'm patronising, okay? I'm just sharing it because I feel an obligation to do so. And that's just to remind you not to leave your child in a hot car, okay? Or a pet dog, you know, it is quite easy to do that. Especially if, say, you know, you've gone into a car park, supermarket, you just want to whiz in, get a couple of things, whiz out again. Your child is napping, they've been having a lovely sleep, you don't want to disturb them, and you just want to be super fast, and you don't want to get the pushchair out and flap around putting it together just to get your baby into the supermarket. But you just don't know what it's going to be like in the shop. Maybe there's a huge crowd full of people queuing up for ice creams. So just always make sure you take your child with you. But I'm sure as you are a parent of only one child, you got the common sense. You're never going to leave your child in a hot car. Don't do it with the dog either, okay? It's a shame, but sometimes people have done that and they've been a lot longer than they expected, and it's ended really badly for them and their dog, or even worse, their child. So that's just the serious point of this little video. All right, let's move on to talking about sun cream. All right, we all know we should have it. It does really help to prevent you from burning, okay? But you've got to apply it throughout the day. That's what they always say. Now, I'm going to give you a top hint tip here that you may not have heard of before, especially if your child's very, very young and it's difficult to put sun cream on a child, right? You're like, come on, God, no, I want to play in the sea. Oh, and you're splattering on there and you're rubbing all over them and they're wiggling and jiggling. Best thing to use in that circumstance is spray. Just spray them all over, right? Fantastic. But when your child is on their own, say in school, in primary school, nursery, the nursery workers and school teachers, they don't have the time and they're not comfortable with splattering sun cream on all the children, okay? Bit of safeguarding thing going on there as well. So the simplest and easiest thing you can do for your child in that circumstance is pack a roll-on sunscreen, so that your child can do it themselves. Just use that anyway, so that your child has a sense of independence. They can just roll it all over themselves like that, and you know, they're more likely to be able to cover themselves with that. Just make sure you're supervising your child as they're putting their own sun cream on, so that everything's covered. So that's a little bit of sunscreen advice you might not have got before. Another thing is, and this, I'm sharing this with you because I made this mistake once. If you take your child to a water park or an outdoor swimming pool, two things I highly recommend. Number one, that their swimming costume, suit, whatever, covers the shoulders, is kind of high up, rather than like a little swimming suit with just straps, or even worse, just swimming trunks and nothing on the top. Children are likely to burn up there. As you know, the sun and water kind of reflects off the water and bounces, and you can really easily burn when you're on water. So make sure your child's shoulders are covered as well. I made the mistake when Sops was like 8 and we went to Volcano Bay in Florida, and she had a little strappy swimsuit, just little straps there, and then the rest. Oh my goodness, did she burn? I felt so bad. And I put lots and lots of sunscreen on her, but she still burnt. It was waterproof sunscreen, but she still burnt. We both burnt badly. I felt so bad. Just quick thing is, I recommend after sun at the end of a hot day, if you can, if you've been out in the sun. Best thing is aloe vera gel. That is definitely the best. I've tried all sorts of other ones. Some of them, if you've got sensitive skin, it like burns your skin. This was Sops and me in that holiday. In the evening, we put after sun on. Oh my gosh, we were like, oh, it burns, it burns. We were like that. So aloe vera gel is really good. Keep it in your fridge. It's even better if you do burn your skin. It's so soothing. So I recommend that definitely at the end of a hot day, especially if you burnt yourself a little bit. The other thing I recommend if you go to an outdoor pool or a water park is wear goggles with shaded goggles. You can wear your sunglasses, but they like to fall off in the swimming pool. So some good shaded goggles. You might look a bit dorky, you might look like a bit of a frog, but it's much better than your eyes burning. Because what happens is the sunlight bounces off the water into your eyeballs. It's really bad. So yeah, definitely make sure you, as well as your child, wears some UV protection goggles. Okay, both of you wear it, all of you wear it in the family. Protect your eyeballs. It's horrible swimming and being blind. I hate it. Can't see, the sun's in my eyes. Okay, the last thing on the list, and then I'm going to tell you what this little guy's all about. The last thing on the list is this. Make sure you wear nice, cool clothes. And I know you probably already know this, but make sure you wear natural materials as much as you can. Cotton is probably one of the best, cotton and linen. Take a note out of the fashions of sort of the Middle East and the countries by the equator. You know, those sort of clothes are really good, especially like for men. There's all those long gown sort of things. They're really good to keep you cool. So just wear very light cottony clothes. If you are somebody who struggles with your legs rubbing a wee bit when you're walking, then I recommend wearing like undershorts. I may put a link to those as well. The ones that I use, I buy them from M&S, so they're quite comfortable, and you know, you can just walk around with a skirt and you're well covered, and you're going to feel a lot more comfortable that way. Okay, so I have covered everything about keeping cool in the summer. I hope it really helps you. Let me talk to you about what this little fellow is for. Okay, so I'm very pleased to announce that we have now launched our summer competition, and it's in connection with the summer activity book we have just launched. If you go to theonlychildclub.net, you will see a pop-up. Come on, sign on to our email list and you will get your free copy of our summer activity book. And the theme is mostly China. The reason it's China is because in that book there is the latest Lucy and Gabriel story. Lucy and Gabriel have a magic flying carpet, and they're going to go back to ancient China. They're going to meet Confucius himself. It's a really exciting little adventure. They're also going to meet Kong Li, who is a pen pal of Lucy. They travel with Gabriel's grandfather, known as Jidu, and they also meet a mysterious wizard called Wu Ling, and you'll find out about him as well. Now, the competition is you need to read the story, and your child needs to draw a picture, an illustration from the story, and they could draw anything in connection with the story. They could draw Gabriel, Lucy, Wu Ling, Confucius, Jidu, or even a little panda bear. Yeah, I threw a panda bear in as well. So it's free to enter. The competition is free to enter. The deadline is the 31st of August. And if your child wins, they win this little guy. Isn't he a little cutie? So please do go on to our email list, sign on to that, and you get your free copy of our activity book, and that's something that your child can enjoy playing with during the summer holidays. Another free thing they can do in the holidays, because it can get a little bit dear. So I hope this has been a really useful video for you. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, notifications, just check them all. They're all down there. Just click, click, click. That would be really helpful. This is a new channel and we really want it to grow so we can serve you, our beautiful one child community. God bless you all. Toodles.